Welcome to Popcorn to Go, a podcast by the Popcorn in Bed sisters. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Carly, and we're here as your below average movie experts to talk about some things movies, pop culture, all things life, daily thoughts, and more.
So grab your popcorn and come hang out with us.
Hi everyone, welcome
Hello.
back.
Hope you all are having a fantastic day. We are excited to talk with you again really quick. It helps us so much if you leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts.
A 5-star review, okay? A 5-star review.
Yeah, if you're going to review us 3, just don't even bother. Just kidding.
If you have a mean comment, maybe just skip it today, okay?
Okay, so it is officially October.
Spooktober, spooky season, woo! Just kidding, I'm like the last
Carly,
person to be
talk
celebrating
so big game.
Wimpiest person around when it comes to spooky things.
She is. I used to be there, but now I'm trained, seasoned veteran of I still am I'm so jumpy.
Yes.
Like Ben will just walk around the corner and be like, "Hey," and I'm like it's embarrassing. I don't know why I am that way.
Same. I'm the same way. Or even like movies that aren't scary, but then something happens, I'm like flailing. And then it's crazy though because
segue.
Oh, yes. But it shocks me when I watch a movie with someone and they're just like totally like they don't even react. And I'm like, did you just see what just happened? Like what the heck?
Oh, yeah. I am like popcorn bucket. When I watched Quiet Place in the theater, literally an extra large popcorn was destroyed all over everyone around me. Free popcorn for everyone.
Spoiler alert, I never watched Quiet Place because it's too scary. So if you're thinking, she can't be that wimpy, I can be.
So today's episode, we want to talk about, I guess we got to think of a catchy title before we actually title this on the...
It's things that have scarred us from being too scary.
Also just like scary, but probably shouldn't have been. You know what I mean?
Story of my life. Just kidding. I feel like in real life, I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself
Yeah, you're not like an overly anxious person. You go on runs by yourself.
I just
an
have
independent
a
lady.
soft, sweet soul that can be scarred easily by scary things.
Yeah.
Okay, sue me.
So we're gonna kind of divide the episode into 2 parts. So things that we saw as children that weren't necessarily scary, but like had a lasting effect on us. When I was going through, thinking about this, I'm like, Disney did us dirty in the 90s. Like there was some darkness there.
So much. I just saw this thing or this meme and it was like, wow, Gen Z gets like Inside Out 2 trying to help them deal with their emotions. Meanwhile, we got Bambi's mother died and Cinderella gets beaten by her crazy stepmother and like Snow White gets poisoned, I'm like,
for real.
What the heck, Disney?
I know. And so some of those we'll be talking about. And then the second part of the episode is kind of movies that aren't horror movies, but still scared the crap out of us.
Yeah, okay. Or some that I was forced to watch that did taint my soul.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we just go like popcorn, back and forth. Right. So let's start out as kids. What's your first one?
Am I going first? Popcorn to me?
Yeah.
Okay. My first one, well, I actually feel like mine were scary things. But like, you said that they weren't supposed to be scary, but mine they were from scary movies, but they scarred me probably more than they should have. So my first one that comes to mind is Signs. I had to watch that movie. I'm pretty sure we watched it in like 7th grade at school.
That can't be true. That can't. You also said that about The Village. I think you.
Yes,
were
I know I
dreaming.
did because I remember sitting on the cushions and everything.
Cushions?
Yeah.
At your school?
Yeah, they were like they could like be a couch or they could like lay flat. And they're like beside the desks, we'd like go over and anyways, it's middle school. And but like There's a few specific parts. Oh, I don't even like thinking about that movie.
I know
But-
the one you're thinking about. It's the birthday party.
I don't know. There's a couple.
When
When
he's
he
watching the
walks-
video.
Yes,
Oh.
and he walks across, lost it. And then there's another part when like the knife was under the door and all of a sudden you see like a hand or something. And then the last
know.
one, when the kid is having like an asthma attack or something, poor freaking kid. And then there's like a hand there. Lost it.
I don't remember
But
the hand, but
good. But probably the walking across is like the worst one. And I just,
I
Yeah.
think that scarred
Yeah.
a generation. Well,
Yes,
it's weird because the whole movie you kind of don't think you're going to see the aliens. Like they're alluding to them, they're talking about, but you're like, okay, it must be like one of those like or tell not show. But then that one video and you're just like, and all these little kids, and then you see the oh my gosh.
so bad.
Like full
so bad.
body. Yeah.
Mhm. Just like skulking across. Oh.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact though, fun little story anecdote on a happy note. I mean, Mel Gibson's in Sign, right? That's Mel Gibson as the dad. Oh, phew.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson's the dad in Signs, and we just met him over the weekend. So
And he's our
that's
dad.
fun. Yes. Insert family photo here.
Yeah.
We did get a picture, and after I was like, why does this feel like it could be our new family photo?
Yeah. We're like his daughters, like
Yeah,
on the
like,
side.
hey.
Didn't really get to chat, but he seemed like a great guy.
Yes.
And had some funny stories. And anyways,
Yes.
okay.
Hi, Mel.
So I think
Okay,
we might have
popcorn, Cassie.
prepared. I think we might have prepared different scenarios.
Okay.
So my first one is Dumbo.
Okay.
When the elephants, when Dumbo, who's a baby, gets drunk. You remember this scene?
I don't remember Dumbo at all, actually.
Well,
At all. So, spoilers for me.
just-
It's okay.
even as a kid, I just remember feeling very scared of that and very uncomfortable. And he starts having like visions of like weird stuff. And I'm like, he's a baby and his mom had been taken away and he feels so unprotected.
Oh.
And that really, really scarred me as a kid. And then,
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'll just double around here really
Yeah,
quick
okay,
because there's
great.
some like this. Fievel Goes West. Don't really know why. I think it was that style of animation. It hurt my feelings. And
The animation hurt your feelings? Like the style? Wait, what's
yeah,
the
the
movie?
style. Fievel Goes West. It's a little mice.
Oh,
And it kind of
yes,
creeped
yes,
me
yes.
out. There's a specific scene with a cat in the snow, and then lastly, for these
Wait,
little Disney
quickly.
ones.
True or false, though? I feel like there was a lot of movies about mice in our generation. True or false?
Yeah, well, mice were in Dumbo too, and then
Yeah. And I feel like
Cinderella.
just recently we were talking about it. No, but I mean like movies like about mice.
Oh yeah,
Like I feel like the other day we were talking about old animated movies, and like 4 or 5 at least came up about mice, and I'm like, wow, we were like really big into the mice in our generation.
did you ever see
So,
the one?
anyways.
I mean, I watched this on the channel. It was called Secret of Nim.
that was one that came up in this conversation.
Yeah, it freaks. It's like a fever dream. It's freaky. My recurring nightmare as a child was wolves. Something about being chased by wolves, and I think that came from Beauty and the Beast. You know, those wolves in the forest, like those with their like glowing eyes, those are not cute or safe. Like not a white fang wolf. It's like a evil devil wolf. So those are just some movies as a kid, Disney ones specifically, that
That's funny because I don't have any of those.
really,
Yeah, I don't have any.
Like,
although,
okay.
but maybe because like you watched them and got scarred by them. I didn't watch them till I was older or something. I don't know, but like
well, hence
I
why
mem-
you had never seen Lion King, because it
Yes,
was too
yes.
traumatic for me, probably.
I remember going through a phase where I loved Bambi, and that one's dramatic, but I don't ever remember being scarred by it. And
Okay, you can't tell me you weren't
101
scarred by-
Dalmatians. I loved that one, and I'm like, should Cruella? I mean, like maybe some people think Cruella was scary, but like I don't ever remember feeling scared in any of those.
You can't tell me you weren't afraid of Pinocchio, though. When those boys turn into donkeys on Pleasure Island.
Okay, well, I don't remember that part in the slightest. So maybe it was either that I was too young when watching them that I don't remember them or didn't really understand enough to get scared by it, or I never watched them because you didn't like them.
Or your mind is protecting you and you're gonna go into therapy and be doing something, and like visions of donkey boys are going to be popping back up.
Okay, well, this is not related. This is a book, but I remember reading Lord of the Flies and I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
Does this just give me no faith in humanity?
Yeah, that hurt my 6th grade innocent view of the world.
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Okay, what's your next one as a kid, I guess?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't really remember having any as a young child, but I remember probably being like 13 when I watched. So this is more of insight into why I'm so wimpy and why I just have a zero tolerance for scary movies is because I was probably about 13 when I watched When a Stranger Calls.
Oh,
and that's
the
like
babysitter one.
Babysitting age, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I had to watch it, like, not had to, but I don't know, with friends or something. Once at a sleepover, like a friend's birthday party, and then another time with like a soccer tournament. And the whole time, like, I still feel ill thinking about that movie and the fear that it put into me. But the main scene at the very end, when you like this cop car is taking the bad guy away and like the shadow comes across his face and you see his face, that face still haunts me to this day. Okay, this is many years later, and I'm just saying, like, that's why I don't watch scary things, because like I have these moments that literally still haunt me, and I'm like, I just don't like feeling scared. I don't like it. I don't get why people like it.
And some people do, right?
Yes,
like some people,
right? It's like adrenaline,
or they just like find it fun to feel that eeriness, I guess. Or but I also think people watch TV differently than some people. Like, some people don't picture themselves in it. When I watch something, I automatically am picturing myself in these situations. But some people can just really separate themselves from it.
Yes.
So watching a scary
100%.
movie might just be more fun. Whereas when you're picturing yourself as a babysitter and this happening to you, it changes everything. And your heart is literally beating out of your chest.
Yeah.
Like, does that happen to people who love scary movies?
I don't know.
Do you think?
Honestly, like, I feel like it can't. Well, I actually don't know. Yeah, you guys tell us. Okay, does that happen? People who like scary movies, does that happen to you? Because
like,
for
are
me,
your hands sweaty? Are you?
I can't tell. Like, I don't know if I'm picturing myself in the moment, but then after, I'm just like scared more in general, and I don't like that feeling. Right? I'm like, I don't.
Yes.
Like, what did we, well, this is kind of branching into the next part of the episode, but like we had to watch something, and I think I texted you after. I was like, that was too much for me, because I remember like going to bed that night feeling a little bit more scared, and I woke up in the morning just like feeling panicked, and I'm like,
it was Get Out.
No, I think it was Invisible Man.
Oh yeah, it might have been that one.
And I was just like, oh, now I'm just more scared.
Like, she literally couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah,
she thought she got out of her blanket.
Woman, right? Like, it just, and all of a sudden I'm like scared in my own home, and I'm like, oh yeah, no scary movies for me, and that's why. Anyways, I got on a tangent and led us into the next part, but
okay, hold on, I've got one more for
yes.
one as
Go
a
back.
kid.
Popcorn back to the children. Portion.
Did you ever see the movie adaptation? It came out in the 90s of the book by Roald Dahl called The Witches.
No.
Okay, so Carly and I, for a long time, did, when I say speech, it sounds like we were learning how, but we did like acting growing up, both of us. And I was acting out a monologue from this movie, or book. So I had to watch the movie. And I was probably still in elementary school. And this is like, oh, it's based on a Roald Dahl book. He writes about fuzzy peaches. Like, but this was so disturbing to me. Like, the witches are so horrifying looking. Ooh. And then they turn the children into mice. And I still can picture the scene of like the little boy finding out that his parents are both dead, which, why is that in every movie?
So traumatic.
First of all, and so like I instantly had anxiety about my parents dying my whole life. And I think it might have stemmed from the witches. But then like they catch him. I'm talking about these hundreds of evil witches who hate children. They catch him and turn him into a mice. And anyways, it is so bizarre that I watched that as a child. I would never let my kids watch that now. Like, anyways.
Well, I was going to say on that note, there's a couple of things I didn't watch as a child, but like I've recently watched, and we've talked about this. Like, if I would have watched this as a child, I'm like, wait, this is a children's movie, like Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm like, this is actually really dark. Why is this made for children?
Yeah, we never watched Nightmare Before Christmas as kids, or like,
there was like a Coraline one or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember some babysitting and watching it, and like the kids asked to put it on, and they had seen it before and they liked it, but I was watching it and I'm like, oh, like I don't like this at all. I'm supposed to be the protector here.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we would love to hear in the comments things that scared you as a kid that probably shouldn't have, or just scared you and maybe wouldn't as an adult, or still do haunt you as an adult. Tell us in the comments.
Yes. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, and this kind of like it bleeds into the next section too. Like also share what was like your first scary movie, you know, and did it scar you like me, or did it get you hooked for life and now you are a scary movie guru? I don't know if guru is the right word,
how old you were, etc. Okay, so next part is, and I feel like maybe our wires crossed on
yeah.
I was doing ones that scenes from movies that shouldn't have been, like they're not horror movies but still scared you or I or us.
Yes. Well, okay. Yeah, I can think of, I mean, I feel like, yeah, they were maybe movies but just scenes that really got our heart rates going. And we both mentioned we were both very jumpy. I think someone made a reel or like a collection of all of our jump scares, and honestly it was pretty hilarious. And like we are ridiculous, but also we can't help it. Okay, we are.
I will watch those back and I'm like, why are my legs flying up? Why? And I don't mean to be myself from? I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but then I watched it, I'm like, what are you doing? It's like you're being electrocuted, like do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, because I'm the same way. Well, I can't, okay, there's one and I can't think of what movie it was. Maybe it was like Logan or something. I don't know, we watched it pretty recently, and all I remember is like it shouldn't have been that scary, but I think I was tense because I was nervous about the movie, so it probably was one of like the Wolverines or like Deadpool or something, and just like a bird lands, and I like freaked out, and I'm like, okay, this is a me problem, I'm aware, but also I am
and I feel like maybe the director or producer of that movie would be like, yes, mission accomplished.
True.
I wanted the tension to be so high that little things are freaking you out, so we're just doing them a favor.
Well, I'm an easy target, so
yeah. Some examples I thought of were Dante's Peak. Not necessarily a scary movie about
is that
a volcano.
Johnny Utah?
No, movie about the volcano.
Oh, I remember. Yes.
Pierce
oh
Brosnan.
My gosh. And they're going going across the melting lake or whatever, the acidic melting lake.
But the one scene where the kids are about to jump into the hot spring.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Yes,
we had a full-on jump scare.
Oh my gosh!
And then they see the bodies and scream. Spoiler alert. But like that was terrifying. Not necessarily a horror movie, but a very terrifying scene.
I feel like those movies to me they're my version of scary movies. Like it's as much as I can do. Yeah.
Do you remember Zodiac? We watched that with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, because the cast, you get like so excited about it, and then it's like actually a horror movie. Not a horror movie, but I actually really liked it. But the beginning,
yes,
but it's more about the investigation. I didn't watch it. Yes.
But there was that one scene where he goes into that guy's house. Do you remember this part? And
I probably closed my eyes.
But he would, and all he said was, "Oh, it's not usual to have. Most people don't have basements in California." And he just looks at him. He's like, "I do." And it was like very haunting, scary. They had made the tension so high that like, oh my gosh, I can still feel the.
You like thought the detective
body.
was going to die too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was bad. I mean, there was a couple parts in that movie that were very scary.
Tension was high. Yeah.
Which, yes, to your point earlier, good job, directors and producers and writers. Okay, mission accomplished.
Movie or music makers. What do they call a movie music maker? Is a composer.
Yeah.
Because music is huge too, right?
Huge. Yeah.
You can play like a happy scene and then overlay some spooky music on it, and instantly you're like,
okay, my mind is blanking if I've shared this on the podcast yet. Did I tell them my perfect couple story? The TV show?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I went to start a new series on Netflix called The Perfect Couple. And I thought it was like, my coworker had recommended it to me and they know me. And so I just thought it was like a rom-com and a new series, you know?
And Nicole Kidman.
Yes, yeah. And like within the first 5 minutes, they're like at an engagement party. And I'm like, great, all the couples, happy endings, here we go. And then the music shifts and all of a sudden I see just water. It's like goes dark, I see water, and the music becomes scary. And immediately I just turned off the TV. I was like, what just happened? Like, I didn't even wait to see what was going to happen.
And so all you saw was water.
And then heard the music though. Like, I heard the music get scary.
I know, but that was enough.
Yes. And then I Googled it and realized it was a murder mystery. And I'm like, oh, freaking ace. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
However, I was curious of what happened. And so a couple days later, during daylight, I did finish the episode. And then it got like I could handle it. But I was just, immediately it was like dark. I was home alone, heard the scary music and just, dark water. And I was like, oh, too much for me. So
I won't sleep
there's
tonight.
that. Yeah.
Can you think of any movies that, I was thinking about some that weren't necessarily scary, but just gave you like a really eerie, bad feeling like the whole time. I can remember watching Fight Club, and I don't know why. I watched it with our brother. I think we were both in high school, and he's like, as if you haven't seen Fight Club, like, well, story of my life and his. Turns on Fight Club. Have you seen Fight Club?
Mm-mm. But all I know is the number one rule is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Right. It's Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. Like, I think it's critically acclaimed. People absolutely love it. But the whole time, I just had this sick feeling. And I don't know if because it was like so, like the house, it was literally dirty. Like it was so, but, and then we watched Ransom on the channel. Oof. And another Mel Gibson plug, which I think about that one a lot because I think his acting in that was amazing. But the same thing, I just had this horrible feeling the time because, again, I'm putting myself in that situation. Your kid gets kidnapped. You literally see the kid tied up. Like, it's still making me sick right now to talk about it. Do you have any like that?
I have many. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but like I'm a big feelings person, right? Like how the movie makes me feel. And so there's been a lot of like movies and TV shows, that shouldn't be, but they just like kind of a dark sense to them. And I can't go there. It's too much.
I feel like last Halloween when we watched An Interview with a Vampire, you kind of had that
1,000%.
feeling.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after
it just
you were like, I just really didn't like that. It just you didn't like the feeling it gave you.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like a dark, eerie, and just like, kind of icky feeling. I feel like sometimes I use the phrase like, I feel ill. And it's just like, no, doesn't sit well with me. So.
Yeah. There's been a few like that. Even some war movies, Full Metal Jacket and, oh my gosh,
Fury.
Apocalypse Now.
Fury was really hard for me too, just because I felt like it was like dark and cussing and fighting, and I was like, where's a little ounce of happiness? So that one also,
know,
but
a
I mean,
little
not
ounce
as
of
much of like the
hope of-
scary, eerie feeling, but just that like,
Right.
ugh, yeah.
Yeah.
On a happier note, yeah, I'm like, what other ones did we get scared of? I could think of like the jump scare in Crocodile Dundee. I'm like, oh, wasn't expecting to get my heart racing in Crocodile Dundee, but it did.
Right. There has been a few like that. There was one in a James Bond movie. Like we had a huge jump scare in James Bond.
Yeah,
I had a
yeah.
huge one in The Sting, which definitely is not a scary movie. Total Recall, when Arnold Schwarzenegger is having that dream and he's on Mars and his helmet falls off, and if you've seen that, you know what scene I'm talking about. Like that one's haunted me. There was a trailer, and
The
I've never
Departed,
seen this movie.
I feel like I had a lot of scary moments in that one too. That was
yeah, yeah. And there was a big surprise jump scare in that one
yeah,
that I'm still not over.
still in shock by. Yeah, that one was. Anyways,
There was a trailer. It's weird how often I think about this. I never seen the movie. It's called Black Swan with Natalie Portman. And there was a trailer and they show her like peeling her nail off
oh, I feel ill.
in the trailer. And like she's like having some kind of breakdown and she's like
Ew,
picking
ew.
at it and then pulls it off. And I am so scared of that. And it pops in my
Me
head
too.
all the time.
Well, it didn't pop into my head, but now it will. Thank you for sharing,
yeah,
Cassie. Oh yeah, exactly.
Something
that
I
reminds
feel
me.
like. Oh, go ahead.
Well, just any like torture scene. I feel like
Oh,
yeah. But honestly,
Yeah.
I go to theaters and like they like showing a scary movie preview, like I literally just close my eyes and plug my ears all the time
Me
because I'm like
too.
I don't even want to see it. But
Yeah.
speaking of trailers, it reminds me of when Disturbia was coming out, and people would be like, it's not even that scary, like it's just suspenseful. And I tried to watch the trailer and I couldn't. I had to shut it off. It was too much for me. And then like years later, I got a little bit older and people again were like, it's not that scary, let's just watch it. And I was like 10 minutes in, and then I could feel the music starting to shift and everything, and I just got that like eerie feeling, and I said nope, and I left.
Yeah, well, even Stevens, just went dark there.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I'm talking about all this and then gearing up to watch a lot of scary movies this
Yeah.
fall. And every year they get a little bit scarier.
I feel like this makes my like hurt for you. And I'm like, I mean, I think you are better at watching them.
I've gotten better.
And yeah, and I just
The thing is,
refuse to
I've
go there. Sorry.
become good at, I guess, on the channel is, although in the moment my heart rate is up to here and I'm sweating and it feels so real, I've learned, and maybe it's just because I've watched more and more, that like to like shut it off. There's only a few that have stuck with me, like nightmares the next few nights and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's like a skill you can. Yeah, obviously you've gotten better at it, because I have heard people tell me that they'll just be like, "Why are you
Your
scared? Like it's not
threshold.
real." Or like even especially when, I mean, obviously it's a lot more scary like when a stranger calls because I babysat a lot, like.
Yes.
But then when it's just like not real things, like it's not even real life. It could be real life scenarios. So they're like, "Why are you scared?" It's like totally fake, or like it's not real. And I'm like,
Right.
it's still just, the producers want to ignite a scary feeling in me, and they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, but you have said like things like aliens and werewolf that is easier for you to watch than say like a serial killer or
Oh, totally.
like something that is more real life scenario.
Yes,
Am I
yes.
right?
Mhm. Yeah. You are very right. Very correct. And also, fun fact, I actually do pretty well in haunted houses. I can like totally be fine. I like laugh. They'll like scare me out. I'm like laughing through a haunted house. But a
That
movie,
surprises me.
yeah, I know. It surprises a lot of people.
About
but like
you.
the movies, I am so wimpy. But a haunted house, I mean, I've never done the one where they can like touch you or something. I'm like, that is just asking for trouble. But
Oh,
yeah.
I am a little tiny baby at a haunted house. I literally full on peed my pants of being so scared. I literally wet myself. So someone was chasing me with a chainsaw. In hindsight, it's probably not a real chainsaw, and he can't actually do anything to me. But like, it was at the very end, and anyways, yeah. So that was a fun ride home.
Yikes.
Things you say on the internet.
Yeah, things you didn't think you'd say on the internet, but then you do.
Yeah, it's been a couple of those.
Okay, well, we also want to hear what are your, even in your adult life now, what things scarred you from scary movies, what movies, have haunted you but shouldn't have, what are some of your favorite scary movies? Just give us all the things about the scary or shouldn't be scary, suspenseful movie things.
Yeah, and we really would like to dive deep into the criminal minds of those out there who love scary movies and how you do it and why you do it and what it is that you like about it.
Keeps
so much.
You coming back.
Yeah. Okay, that wraps up our conversation on scary but probably shouldn't have been.
Thank you so much for joining us. Keep coming back for our next episode. Join our Patreon. We can really dive into all the scary movie discussion. Again, not scary on my part, but scary movies on your part that you know about.
Yeah.
And happy Spooktober.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed listening, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform and leave that beloved 5-star review.
And come join our Patreon for bonus content and to be part of the popcorn community.